Sleep Yoga, Episode 4. Karma is not punishment. How your habits shape your dreams. The reaction you practice today may become the world you inhabit tonight. An argument you overhear may return as conflict in a dream. A fear you barely noticed may become the atmosphere of the night. A resentment you rehearsed in silence may follow you into sleep and wake beside you in the morning. This is one of the deeper meanings of karma in dream yoga. Karma is often imagined as an invisible system of reward and punishment, as though every mistake is recorded somewhere and returned to us as a sentence. That picture can produce fear, shame, and fatalism. It can also be used carelessly to explain another person's suffering, turning a teaching about responsibility into a reason to withhold compassion. The Tibetan Bön teachings presented by Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche offer a more immediate place to begin. Karma means action. Action leaves a result. The result does not end when the visible event is over. What we do, say, rehearse, resist, and repeatedly believe leaves a tendency in the mind. When a related condition appears, that tendency makes a familiar response more likely. For this episode, we can approach karma through the language of habit, while remembering that habit is not the whole traditional meaning. It is a doorway into seeing how action becomes momentum, how momentum shapes experience, and how the worlds of waking and dream are joined. Welcome to Sleep Yoga, a Dragonlight Alchemy series exploring dream, sleep, awareness, and clear light through reflections inspired by the Tibetan Bön teachings presented by Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche. In the previous episode, we explored the dreamlike quality of waking life. We saw that an event and our experience of that event are not always identical. Memory, expectation, emotion, and identity enter the moment and help shape the world we perceive. Karma explains why those additions are not random. They have been practiced. A familiar reaction can begin before we know we have chosen it. Someone asks a simple question and the body prepares a defense. A friend takes too long to reply, and the mind begins composing a story about being forgotten. We hear another person's good news and feel a small contraction before we have had time to offer congratulations. The reaction may last only a few seconds. It may be so familiar that we mistake it for personality. This is simply how I am. But what we repeat does more than describe us. It trains us. Imagine someone who grew up in a home where conflict arrived without warning. Voices rose quickly. A small disagreement could fill the house. As a child, this person learned to listen for changes in tone, to study faces, and to prepare for danger before danger was visible. Years later, that home is gone. One afternoon, while walking down a street, the person passes an open window and hears two people arguing. They continue walking. Perhaps the conscious mind barely registers the sound. That night, they dream of fighting with someone they love. In the dream, the old atmosphere returns before the dreamer understands why. The body is ready to defend. An ordinary sentence feels like an attack. The dream relationship becomes the stage upon which an earlier pattern is performed again. The dream ends, but the mood may continue into morning. The person wakes guarded or distant. Their partner notices the withdrawal and asks what is wrong. The question is heard as pressure. Another defensive response follows. A childhood reaction, awakened by a sound on the street, has moved through a dream and entered a new day. No supernatural punishment was required. The pattern carried itself forward through cause and condition. This is what makes karma both sobering and hopeful. It is sobering because a reaction does not disappear simply because we justify it or forget it. It leaves the mind more prepared to move in the same direction again. It is hopeful because what has been trained can be retrained. The future is influenced by the traces of the past, but it is not a sealed verdict. Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche compares karmic traces to seeds. A seed may remain dormant until the right moisture, warmth, and soil allow it to grow. In the same way, a tendency may remain quiet until a particular tone of voice, loss, success, delay, or uncertainty provides the condition that awakens it. This is why two people can meet a similar event and enter very different worlds. A delayed message may be a mild inconvenience to one person and evidence of rejection to another. Criticism may become useful information for one person and a wound to identity for someone else. Another person's success may inspire admiration, or it may awaken an old conviction that there will never be enough recognition, love, or opportunity to go around. The outer event matters, yet the seed that meets the event also matters. When the seed ripens, it often feels like truth. Anger says the other person is entirely wrong. Fear says the future has already become dangerous. Jealousy says another person's light has diminished ours. Shame says one mistake has revealed what we have always been. The emotion may contain information. Anger may signal a violated boundary. Fear may recognize genuine risk. Jealousy may reveal an unlived desire. Karma does not ask us to distrust every feeling. It asks us to notice what the feeling has been trained to do next. Does anger become cruelty? Does fear become avoidance? Does hurt become a withdrawal so complete that repair is no longer possible? That next movement is where karma continues. The book describes two common ways we reinforce a painful pattern. One is to act it out impulsively. The other is to suppress it. If anger arises and we immediately speak from it, the action affects the other person and strengthens our own readiness for anger. The mind learns that this is the path it takes under pressure. Suppression may appear more controlled, but it can still be rooted in aversion. We push the experience away because we do not want to feel it or because it threatens the identity we prefer. The anger remains hidden, perhaps returning as resentment, bodily tension, harsh judgment, or a later outburst that seems much larger than the present situation. Expression and suppression are not the only possibilities. A pause can interrupt the automatic sequence. Suppose someone is angry with us and our own anger rises. We feel heat in the face, pressure in the chest, and words forming with remarkable speed. If we recognize what is happening, even imperfectly, we may decide not to let the first impulse speak for the whole mind. Perhaps we take one breath. Perhaps we ask for time. Perhaps we remember that the other person is also being moved by conditioning and pain. Compassion may not arrive as a warm feeling. It may begin as the refusal to add more harm. This is positive karma in a practical sense. We are planting a different tendency. The first attempts can feel artificial. A lifelong reaction rarely dissolves because we understood it once. Yet each skillful response makes that route more familiar. In time, patience may appear where only defensiveness once lived, and a boundary may be expressed firmly without hatred. This is an important level of practice, but the teaching goes further than replacing a negative habit with a positive one. Its deeper aim is freedom from being compelled by either. This is where we need to distinguish an ordinary mindful pause from the full meaning of self-liberation. A mindful pause is accessible and deeply valuable. We notice the emotion, feel the body, refrain from immediate action, and choose a wiser response. This changes the conditions of the moment. It can reduce harm and cultivate positive tendencies. Self-liberation, as described in the deeper teaching, refers to something more profound. The emotion arises within non-dual awareness, rigpa, and is recognized without grasping, rejection, or identification. Nothing has to be forced away. Nothing needs to be turned into a better story. The emotion releases within the open awareness in which it appeared, like a movement dissolving back into space. That is not the same as calming ourselves down, thinking positively, or waiting until the feeling passes. It rests upon a stable recognition of the nature of mind and traditionally belongs within sustained practice and guidance. Most of us should not pretend to be established in that realization when we are not. Yet ordinary awareness can prepare the ground. An emotion arises. We feel its energy before turning it into an argument. We notice that it changes temperature, moves through the body, and loses some of its authority when it is not continually fed. We do not call it me or mine quite so quickly. For a moment, the emotion is an event within awareness rather than the ruler of awareness. This is not full self-liberation in rigpa, but it is a meaningful beginning. It weakens the automatic bond between feeling and action. It teaches us that a reaction can be present without becoming our identity or our command. This distinction matters because spiritual teachings can become harsh when applied without maturity. For someone living with trauma or intense anxiety, just let it dissolve may be neither possible nor kind. Safety, therapy, community, and gradual practice may be necessary. The path asks for honesty, not spiritual performance. The Mother Tantra places these teachings within a larger progression: vision, action, dream, and bardo. Here, vision does not mean only what the eyes see. It means the entire field of experience: perception, sensation, thought, emotion, memory, and everything that appears external to us. If we are unaware within experience, we mistake our projections and conditioned interpretations for the whole of reality. From that confusion, we act through grasping and aversion. Our actions deepen the same karmic traces that later shape our dreams. Vision becomes action. Action becomes dream. And the way we meet dream becomes preparation for the bardo, the intermediate state described in the Tibetan tradition after death. The teaching is not asking us to become frightened of dying. It is revealing continuity. If we spend waking life being carried by every impulse, we are training ourselves to be carried. If we accept every dream appearance as unquestionable reality, we reinforce the habit of losing awareness within experience. A habit the tradition says also matters in the bardo. The movement also works in the other direction. When we bring awareness into immediate experience, behavior becomes less automatic. As behavior becomes less governed by grasping and aversion, the mind carries a different familiarity into sleep. Awareness stabilized during the day begins to appear in dream. Presence in dream becomes preparation for meeting greater transitions with clarity. This is why dream yoga does not begin when the head touches the pillow. It begins in how we answer a message. It begins in the breath before we speak. It begins in the moment when an old interpretation appears and we recognize it as an interpretation. Every ordinary reaction belongs to the training. Dreams reveal that training with unusual clarity. During the day we explain ourselves. We say we reacted because the other person deserved it, because the situation left no alternative, or because anyone would have done the same. Some of those explanations may contain truth. Yet in a dream, external justification becomes less stable. The dream figure who insults us appears within the dream. The danger may be created by the same mind that is fleeing from it. Still, we respond according to familiar tendencies. A defensive person may become defensive in dreams. Someone governed by longing may spend the night searching. The imagery differs, but the response is often familiar. From the perspective of dream yoga, our reactions within dreams also matter. If we respond with hatred, grasping, or fear, the mind is still rehearsing a way of being. The dream is not outside the stream of karma simply because the events are not physically occurring. Anyone who has awakened from an angry dream knows that emotion can survive the dream world. The person beside us may have done nothing, yet we wake carrying resentment toward them. The body has participated. The mind has practiced. Lucidity introduces another possibility. If we recognize the dream, we may pause before repeating the old action. We may approach the threatening figure differently. We may release something we usually grasp. We may choose compassion where habit would have chosen revenge. Even without full lucidity, dream recall can show us the tendencies we are rehearsing. A dream journal can become less a collection of mysterious symbols and more a record of repeated responses. What do I do when I cannot find my way? How do I respond when someone leaves? What happens when I am criticized, ignored, desired, or placed in danger? The setting may be impossible, but the response can be deeply familiar. Dream yoga does not require us to interpret every image as a message. Its deeper work is upstream. Rather than becoming fascinated only by the story of the dream, we begin to recognize the habits, attachments, fears, and identities from which the story is being formed. We learn to work with the causes of dreams, not only their content. There is another misunderstanding we should address. To speak about karma is not to claim that every hardship is the victim's fault. We do not know the complete causes and conditions shaping another person's life. Using karma to explain poverty, illness, abuse, or tragedy from a distance can become a way of protecting ourselves from another person's pain. Compassion does not require a theory before it responds. It asks, what is needed now and what can reduce harm? Karma places responsibility on our own participation. It asks us to look at the action available in this moment, not to appoint ourselves judges of another person's past. It also does not mean that we should remain in harmful situations because they are our karma. Leaving can be a skillful action. Seeking justice can be a skillful action. Naming abuse clearly can interrupt a pattern that silence would allow to continue. The teaching is not passive. It reminds us that every response becomes part of what follows. A boundary expressed with clarity plants one kind of seed. Revenge plants another. Silence chosen from wisdom is different from silence imposed by fear. The outer action may look similar, but the state of mind matters. This brings the teaching close to daily life. Karma is being shaped in the message we send after feeling rejected, in the story we repeat about someone who hurt us, and in the argument we rehearse against a person who is not in the room. It is also present when we recognize the pattern and choose not to hand it the next hour of our life. No action is isolated. This does not mean we should become frightened of every imperfect thought. Fearful self-monitoring can become another habit. The point is not to create a morally flawless inner world. The point is to become intimate with momentum. What grows when I feed this? For the practice this week, choose one recurring reaction. Do not choose the most overwhelming pattern in your life. Begin with something you can observe without becoming lost inside it. It may be defensiveness, anger, jealousy, withdrawal, people-pleasing, or the assumption that something will go wrong. Give the pattern a simple name. Not a diagnosis and not an identity. Just a name you can recognize when it appears. For 7 days, notice 3 things. What awakened the reaction? What did it ask you to do? What remained afterward? Record only a few lines. The purpose is not to analyze yourself into exhaustion. You are learning the conditions under which a seed begins to grow. At night, add one observation to your dream journal. Did this pattern appear in a dream, in the emotional atmosphere of the night, or in my mood upon waking? Do not force a connection. Some dreams will reflect recent events clearly, others will not. The practice is to become attentive to continuity. When the reaction appears during the day, try one interruption. Feel the body before you explain the feeling. Allow one full breath before acting. Then ask, what response am I practicing now? This question does not demand perfection. It returns agency to the moment. You may still become angry. You may still withdraw. You may recognize the pattern only after it has already spoken. That recognition is not failure. It is the beginning of seeing a sequence that once operated invisibly. Over time, awareness may arrive earlier. At first, we notice after the reaction. Later, we notice while it is happening. Eventually, we may feel the first movement before it becomes action. That earlier recognition changes the conditions of karma. We are no longer only the result of what has been repeated. Awareness has entered the pattern. Karma, then, is not a sentence written somewhere beyond us. It is the living continuity of action, consequence, and tendency. It is present in the worlds we enter during the day and in the dreams that rise at night. To understand karma is not to become afraid of the future. It is to discover that the future is being practiced now. Concluding note. For the coming week, choose one pattern and watch it with patience. Do not call it your nature. See it as something learned, something repeated, and therefore something that can be met in a new way. When it begins to rise, ask, what response am I practicing now? Then carry that question towards sleep. Notice what the day leaves behind in the body, the emotions, and the dreaming mind. In the next episode, episode 5, How Your Day Becomes Your Dream, we will follow this continuity more closely. We will explore how the impressions, emotions, and unfinished movements of waking life become the imagery and atmosphere of the night. Subscribe to Dragon Light Alchemy, carry this light into your practice, and follow the Sleep Yoga series into the next teaching. Until then, remember, the dream does not begin only after you fall asleep. It is already being shaped by the way you meet this moment. This week's practice. Choose one recurring reaction. Notice what awakened it. What did it ask you to do? What remained afterward? At night, ask, did this pattern appear in a dream, in the emotional atmosphere of the night, or in my mood upon waking? When it returns, pause and ask, what response am I practicing now? Next in the series, Episode 5, How Your Day Becomes Your Dream. Subscribe to Dragon Light Alchemy and follow